That's later, guys.
Yep, 4 teams get the double bye, meaning they don't have to play until Friday. They would not play the first 2 games or the first 2 days next week in Nashville at the SEC tournament. Chinyelu and Amori jumping it up in Florida. Will start with possession. Alex Condon back in the starting lineup for the Gators. He had been hurt a few games ago and had been coming off the bench upon his return. Condon gets it back from Martin, spins, missed it off the front iron. That's going to be basket interference. Alabama ball.
But that's going to be part of this game all night long. The offensive glass. Florida, one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country, and from the first possession, you can see that Alabama is going to top lock, and they're going to play off Ruben Chinyelu to try to clog it up in the lane.
See the starters for Alabama. 5th time that Nate Oates has employed this group. They're 2-2. Here's a 3 from the corner that's way off from Youngblood. One and done for Bama. Condon getting another touch on the low block, trying to back down Amori. Gets deep in the lane and kicks it out. Alabama, the #1 scoring team in the country. They're #1 in rebounds. Florida #3. Condon misses. And Phylon clears.
Really good block out there by Grant Nelson underneath. Rebounding is going to be a gigantic part of this game.
Terrific hustle by Phylon, but Florida comes out of there with it.
One thing Alabama cannot afford to do, Dave, is turn the ball over. They need to get a shot every time down.
Richards 3, not close. Alabama looks to run. Both teams love to get up and down the floor. Alabama has 8 games this year where it scored more than 100.
Elijah Martin guarding Mark Sears. He's got size and he's really tough.
Sears puts it in for the game's first points.
Mark Sears is an outstanding scorer. He's got a Jalen Brunson vibe out on the floor. Really good at getting into the lane, finishing around the basket, shot fakes, getting fouled, and he can drill it from deep.
Has that terrific footwork like Brunson. How about the defense? Amori with the swat on Chinyelu.
Terrific drop pass by Walter Clayton Jr. and Cliff Amori, who was all defensive team when he was at Rutgers in the Big Ten, showing exactly why. A meeting at the summit.
Florida will have 11 to shoot. Martin graded as soon as he catches it on the inbound pass. Clayton on the drive. The floater is good over the outstretched arm of Grant Nelson.
Just an outstanding shot by Walter Clayton Jr., but give LeBaron Phylon credit because he ran him off the 3-point line, made it a difficult 2 rather than giving up a 3. And you'll see both teams do that throughout the course of the game. They're very good at guarding the 3-point line.
Florida with 4 wins against ranked teams this year, including a victory at #1 Auburn. Alabama, Sears scores again, has 9 wins against ranked teams, a school record.
We saw Walter Clayton Jr. for Florida in the lane with that little floater. Same thing for Mark Sears, just running them off the line, make them make a tough 2.
Condon left alone, he'll let it fly and drill a 3.
The most skilled big guy on this Florida roster. He's not shot the ball that well of late. Only 16% in SEC games from 3 of 19. That's his 4th one.
Nelson turns it over. Florida looking to get out and run. Condon, a slam. 5 quick points for Alex Condon.
And those are the turnovers that Alabama cannot afford. That's a turnover for a touchdown.
Florida 3rd in the country in fast break points. Phylon leaning in and drops that one home. Tough shot.
Most people think, Dave, of Alabama as a 3-point shooting team, and they do make a lot of 3s, but what they really do is drive the ball. They get a piece of the paint. They shoot 60% from 2-point range. That's best in the country.
Clayton, tough shot off balance, but he's able to hit. He's got 6 games this year where he scored 25 or more, including 33 points at Kentucky.
The most impressive thing about Walter Clayton Jr. this year is how he's improved his defense. He's really become an excellent defender. Last year, that was not his calling card, but I think he's an NBA guard. He's small, but he can really score.
Has it blocked, but he was fouled on the drive. That's the first foul in the game, and it's on Phylon.
Alabama, when they take care of the ball, they get a shot. But just
last night.
Yeah, Duke has been on the heater all season long. They're 18-1 in ACC play, but you're right about North Carolina. They've won 6 straight, and over that period, they are shooting well over 50%. They're averaging 91 points a game, and they've rebounded at a high level, which has been an issue for the Tar Heels.
Well, guys, in that last timeout, Alabama coaches were trying to calm their team down, saying, we're all right. We need to make it tougher for them to hit those twos. No more threes. And on offense, coaches preaching to play faster, get the ball up the floor quicker. Nate Oates stressing over and over, the pace has got to pick up on offense for us to control this game.
That's a great point, Molly. The pace, when you run offense with pace, it makes it more difficult for a team like Florida to be physical with you.
And a foul here coming off a screen. It's going to be on Martin. That's the first on Florida. Yeah, 6 points is not a lot for Alabama when you think about 91 points per game on the year, which leads the country. 15 times they've scored 90 or more this year.
Yeah, this team gets up and down the floor. And to Molly's point, when they run their offense with pace, they are very, very difficult to guard. But Florida wants to make Alabama into a half-court team. You know, take them out of transition, make them run half-court offense. Because Florida's got size, they rebound really effectively, and they can really bother this Alabama team when they get the ball into the lane.
Alabama's lost 3 of its last 5, including a buzzer beater at Tennessee over the weekend. Tough angle as Mark Sears connects on the baseline.
Sears can not only knock down threes, he's just so good in the mid-range and draws a ton of fouls.
He has 4 of the 8 for Alabama. Clayton comes back and knocks down the mid-range shot. Clayton off to a terrific start with 8 points, 3 of 3 from the floor.
And he needed a good start. Over his last 3 games, he's averaging 14 points, but he's only shot 30% from the field.
Diabate powers it up, no. Handlotten playing his 4th game, or 6th game rather, since coming back from a leg injury. A rebound, but a turnover by the Gators on the other end. Year 3 for Todd Golden. 2 years ago when he took over, they were under 500. Last year, they make the tournament, lose in the first round. This year, could get a #1 seed.
Well, they've had 2 wins over #1 teams. They've been excellent on the road. They've had back-to-back road wins over ranked teams, both Auburn and Mississippi State. And that's with guys out.
Richard attacks, and Handlotten puts it in. Florida's lead is 7.
Right now, Florida's been able to beat Alabama off the dribble, make 2 play 1. They've played out of it really effectively.
Sears attacking, kicks it out. Stevenson underneath, the slam by Aiden Sherrill.
What a beautiful cut by Jaron Stevenson right behind Mark Sears when he picked up his dribble.
Sherrill averages 3 points per game. McDonald's All-America. Freshman out of Detroit.
Well, Aiden Holloway did a really nice job of just blowing up that handoff action with Will Richard.
Rainbow from the corner, off target on the triple try from Clayton. And Holloway, one of the top 6 men in the country, looking to run, but turns it over. 3-on-1 Florida. Richard with the lob, was an errant pass, and another Gator turnover in transition. 3 giveaways already by Florida. A foul called on the dunk attempt by Stevenson, and Logton picks up his first and the 2nd team foul.
Right now, Florida's winning the battle of pace. A terrific drive by Will Richard when he draws 2 defenders, just drops it off to Micah Handlotten, who came back from that horrific injury he had in the SEC tournament. And then that terrific cut you saw from Jaron Stevenson just opened that up where he could lob it up for an easy bucket.
Well, free throws for Stevenson. Jay, we mentioned at the top of the show, a #1 seed could be on the line. Right now, who in your mind are the locks for #1s in the tournament?
Well, Duke and Auburn are locks, and I think Houston will be as well. So those 3 seem like they're taken up. There's still a ways to go before we get to Selection Sunday. But I think those 3 are really, really solid. Clearly, I think Michigan State could jump up there. If they run the table in the Big Ten, I think you could see Michigan State jump up into a #1 seed slot.
Right now, Joe Lunardi is Tennessee as the other #1. They've won 4 in a row. They play when we're done here at Ole Miss on ESPN2. Tennessee is 4th in the SEC, yet a #1 seed perhaps right now. Great cut, but a missed layup by Clayton. That's his first miss of the game.
Boy, both these teams are such good cutting teams. That was a terrific cut by Walter Clayton Jr. You're not going to see him miss many layups.
Philon looking to drive. Kick out and a three from Holloway. That's good. He shoots almost 50% from three in conference games. And it's a 6-0 Bama run.
Boy, that's beautiful offense. Getting a paint touch off the pass and the kick out to Aiden Holloway.
Baseline shot no good by Aberdeen. Offensive rebound. Clayton for three up top. Brick that one. And it pinballs to the corner. And Holloway there.
Handlockton did an outstanding job of keeping that ball alive so he could grab that offensive rebound. That's the best time to shoot a three after an offensive board.
Diabate in the high post driving. Kicks to the wing and Philon. Shot clock at 10. Diabate with the skip. Sherrill. 9-0 Alabama run.
This team can put points on the board in a hurry.
Driving into the lane. Martin, no room to get closer, so it's back out on the perimeter. Shot clock at 6. Back cut. Houck blocked, but a foul on Diabate, his first and the second on Alabama. The Crimson Tide on a roll right now. They've scored the last
action. He read the switch very effectively, and Alex Condon is one of the best passing big guys in the country, and he delivers a beautiful pass along the baseline.
Thomas Houck at the line for Florida. 82% free throw shooter. Way off on the first attempt.
Houck is another multi-skilled big guy that can knock down a three, really good with the ball, and an excellent rebounder.
He was big in the win at Auburn, at 16 points in that game. Went 0 for 2, though, on that trip at the foul line. Alabama looking to extend the lead. Up to 8.5 minutes gone by in this matchup of top 10 teams. Second time ever. The other one was back in 2002. Fumbling it away is Youngblood out of bounds, but it was touched last by the Gators. 8 to shoot for Bama.
You really have to protect the ball when you're in a crowd in this game, because Florida has had really active hands to knock it away.
Philon will inbound underneath to a wide open Nelson with good position.
So concerned about Mark Sears. If you fall asleep under the bucket, Alabama is going to take advantage of it.
Condon nails the three. That's his second triple, and he turns and stares down the Alabama bench after the hit.
Alabama is top locking in the corner to keep Florida from being able to come off that dribble handoff action, and that means it's going to be a back cut.
Youngblood couldn't handle the pass, but Florida turns it over again in transition. Philon missed the shot, couldn't tip it. Klobuchar out of there with it for the Gators.
Klobuchar can really shoot it.
Missed the pull-up three.
Good pressure on that by Grant Nelson. Really made it difficult for Klobuchar to get a good look at the basket.
They're 2 for 7 from deep. Alabama 2 of 5 from behind the arc. Tied by 1. Sears fouled. It rattles around and out, but it'll go to the line for 2.
Alabama's spacing was really poor there. They had 3 guys basically bunched up in the corner. So Mark Sears had nowhere to go. That was just not a good foul. Make him finish over the top of you. But he's really good at getting fouled. He shoots almost 7 free throws a game, Mark Sears does.
Aberdeen commits the foul his first. Third on Florida. Sears knocks down the first free throw. We have another doubleheader for you Friday in ESPN of NBA action with the Dallas Mavericks dealing with a ton of injuries. Kyrie Irving now out for the year with a torn ACL, taking on Memphis, and then Denver hosting a Phoenix team that had its largest fourth quarter comeback in franchise history last night, beating the Clippers. Sears gets both free throws.
And one of the questions in the NBA now is, with Victor Wembanyama out for the season for the Spurs, who's going to get Defensive Player of the Year? And it could be Jaren Jackson Jr. Of the Grizzlies.
There's a lot of that. You get Norman Powell, who's out right now for the Clippers. He was probably the front runner for sixth man or most improved. You got a lot of guys that got to get to that 65-game threshold or you're ineligible for all the postseason awards.
Yeah, that's going to open up spots on All NBA and Defensive Player of the Year, and that could have some effect on second apron.
Nelson goes to the left hand, came up short. And it's Florida ball, looking to retake the lead midway through the first half here in Tuscaloosa. Clayton way off the mark. Offensive rebound and a kick to the corner. 3 on the way. Another air ball, but Condon, a third chance. And Condon is fouled by Nelson. His first, 4th on the tie.
There is a premium on rebounding in this game. 2 of the best rebounding teams, not only in the Southeastern Conference, but in the country. And Florida absolutely pounds the offensive glass. They're 8th in the country at an offensive rebound rate of 38%. They get 38% of their own misses. That's a big number.
Already 5 offensive rebounds to 1. Florida with the advantage. Molly.
Yeah, Alabama's Mo Diabate observing the holy month of Ramadan by fasting from dawn to sunset. He can't even drink water or fluids during daylight hours. And today, the sunset 10 minutes before tip-off, Amanda Branson, their team dietitian, has an alarm to set to feed him whenever the sun goes down. That was him eating when the team came out pregame. So she slowly pushes calories and protein-dense foods. All his caloric intake needs to be during evening hours. He has alarms set for 3 a.m., 5:30 a.m. so he can hydrate and eat meals during the evening, guys.
Oh, he's been very impactful so far in this game as well. 3-pointer rounded out from Youngblood and controlled by Chinyelu.
Mohamed Diabate is such a valuable player for Alabama. He leads the team in plus-minus, just an X factor.
And somehow Klobuchar, because of a seal from a teammate, gets downhill and gets the easy 2.
Yeah, it was Ruben Chinyelu, and he may be the best in the country at sealing off help defense. He just sealed off a shot blocker, and Klobuchar was able to get all the way to the rim for the easy layup.
Youngblood in the lane, scores there to tie the game at 23 apiece. First points for Youngblood, who averages about 10 points per game on the year. Entry pass to the low post. Chinyelu on the face-up. Goes to the jump hook and hits over Diabate.
Chinyelu, not a big scorer, only averages about 6 points per game, but an outstanding offensive rebounder.
Sears missed a deep 3. Ball batted out, and it's Florida ball. Sears 0 for 2 from behind the arc, 36% three-point shooter on the year. Was much better last year, 44% a year ago. Almost a walk on Martin, brings it back outside.
Martin had to cut back door because of that top lock. Same thing for Walter Clayton Jr. Those are terrific cuts. If there's not enough pressure on the passer, they're going to be able to pick Alabama apart on that.
Chinyelu back-to-back buckets for Florida. Lead is 4 for the Gators. High-level offensive basketball, both teams among the best in the country.
Big-time offensive teams.
Diabate, no inside, but a late whistle, a foul. Might be on the rebound.
Yeah, a little push in the back. But when Florida turns the corner here, Ruben Chinyelu pace to start this game. But both teams have to do a little bit better job at taking care of the ball, especially Alabama. Some of their turnovers have been, in my judgment, unforced. But when you look at those rebounding numbers, it's imperative that the guards stick their noses in there and rebound and help the big guys, especially when you have long rebound situations.
As we're talking about rebounding, Todd Golden emphasizing that in the last timeout with physicality. He said, get out in transition, make explosive plays in the paint, telling his bigs, if you get a lob, slam it, take away their confidence. So Golden trying to inject some confidence, physicality, swagger into his team in that timeout.
Kamala, he told us at shoot-around today, it's not just the bigs, the guards we've got to worry about crashing the glass. As Sears had a foul called there on Richard at midcourt, but the officials letting him play. Low-scoring game by Alabama standards so far. Just 23 points in 13 minutes, trailing by 4. Holloway puts it on the floor, misses again. Bama's 1 of 7 at the rim. That degree of difficulty was a little bit higher than the others, and just an awful turnover there, trying to leave it for Richard. Not on the same page with Clayton. You see the reaction from Todd Gold.
Well, Alabama's made a couple of drives, I think, looking to pick up a foul, and you're probably not going to get it in this type of game.
Alabama plays Auburn on the road on Saturday. Florida will take on Ole Miss on Saturday. Final week of the regular season. SEC tournament starts middle of next week in Nashville. Top four get double byes. Both of these teams looking good for that, as Nelson is fouled and a shoot 2. Alabama 3 of 4 at the line so far. Florida 3 for 6.
Florida was really pressing up into Alabama's guards, and Grant Nelson had nobody to pass it to, so just went one-on-one in the post. Did a really nice job of seeking out contact in Houck's arms to pick up that foul.
Houck's first. 15 foul. Nelson misses the first free throw. Is scoring down of late, just 6 points per game the last 4, but has also been dealing with some injuries during this stretch.
He's been all banged up. He didn't practice yesterday, but leads Alabama in rebounding, block shots, and also leads him in blue collar points. He's got 8 hard hat awards this year, because Alabama, they're a high octane team, but they're a blue collar mentality team too.
Part of the senior night festivities post game, along with Mark Sears, Martin, and the baseline cut off by Sherrill. Good defense. Houck with a good look, can't hit the 3. One and done that time for Florida. Stevenson with a rebound, trying to get out and run, but Florida gets back. And then Sears tried to put it between the legs of Martin, hit the cutting Stevenson, and it was a kick ball. And looks like Martin shaken up, holding his left shoulder. He knew it right away, too. Called for a sub immediately. Gators cannot afford to lose their second leading scorer.
He was out against Auburn, at Auburn, and still the Gators were able to win that game. Just a spectacular performance against the #1 team.
But you wonder if it's an extended period of time. Can they reach their goal of a championship if he's out? Basket by Sears and a foul. Final game here at Coleman Coliseum for Mark Sears. And off to a tremendous start already in double figures with 10.
This is why you get the Jalen Brunson comparison. A back down. And he gets Clabjar on the top side, little drop step, and able to finish with that left hand. He's left-handed, but he gets to the line a lot and earns his way there. He's such a tough player. He started his career at Ohio University, where he's the leading scorer in the MAC conference, and he's carried that forward into the SEC.
Game tied at 27-16. Foul by Florida. Richards 3 off target. It'll roll out of bounds and be Alabama ball. Youngblood back on the floor, and he'll replace Sherrill, so Alabama goes a little bit smaller now.
But Chris Youngblood has made a big difference on this Alabama team. He's finally healthy now, transferred in from South Florida, where he was the American Athletic Conference Player of the Year. And his last 3 games, he's 10 of 18 from 3. He's been knocking them down.
Lob for Nelson, broken up, but cleaning it up inside is Phylon with the basket. You saw Elijah Martin returning to the bench for Florida, so that appears to be good news. A 6-0 run right now by the Crimson Tide. Clayton driving, ball swatted out of bounds, but a foul on the drive. 14 foul. They get Phylon for the personal. That's his second. See if we can take a look at Martin on this play here. When the injury happened, hard to tell exactly when it occurred. We showed you back on the bench, but not yet returned to the scorer's table. Florida ball down 2, 5 minutes to go here in the opening half. On the back cut, Clabjar puts it up, misses in and out, and the rebound by Nelson.
Alabama's help side defense has been very active on those back cuts when they're top blocking.
What a great drive and finish by Nelson. Holloway with the find, and it's a 4-point Alabama lead. Richard wide open. Another misfire. Chinyalu back up and in.
The offensive glass is a weapon for Florida. The game doesn't start until the shot goes up. That's when the fight begins.
They got 7 offensive rebounds. Back within 2. Lob. Nelson has it blocked. What a play by Condon. And now Richard in the open floor gets the slam. But it all started with Condon with a tremendous block on the dunk attempt by Nelson. And now we got an injured Alabama player.
You guys at the half.
Tie game, 4:26 to go here in the first half. Dave Pass, Jay Bills to check him with Molly.
Yeah, Nate Oates was hot with his team in that last timeout, saying we are getting punked. All the toughness plays are going their way. They're playing tougher than you. And in the SEC, we are the better offensive rebounding team. You got to step it up, box out, and have some pride in your offensive rebounding.
And a turnover by Alabama, and an easy 2 for Richard. Good pass by Clayton. Alabama's, Molly was saying, wasn't strong with the ball on that last possession either.
Yeah, just some careless passing, and when you do that, that leads to runouts, and those you cannot guard.
Holloway missed the 3. Florida ball. Gators working on a 6-0 run after an 8-0 Alabama run. Condon deep, got the defender off his feet. Counted and a foul. Boy, Alex Condon has been huge so far here in the first half of the Gators.
What can go sometimes unnoticed or not talked about as much is how Alex Condon, Thomas Houck, Ruben Chinyalu, how they run the floor. They sprint down court, and that puts a ton of pressure on your transition defense, especially opposing big guys to run the floor. And Condon will run the floor and then seal off where you can lob it over the top.
11-5 for Condon. Averages 11-8 on the year. Had 10 rebounds, 17 points in the win at Auburn. Jaron Stevenson the foul, his second. 15 foul on Alabama. 16 fouls on Florida. And the Gators on a 9-0 run in just a minute to take a 5-point lead. Sears hits the deck. They'll get Clayton for the foul. And that will send Sears to the line for a 1-and-1, 17 foul. Sears 11 points, 3 of 3 at the line so far.
And he's an 84% free throw shooter, and he wears out that free throw line.
And he connects on the front end of the 1-and-1s. Take a look at tonight's Wooden Watch presented by Principal. Sears second in the SEC in scoring and assists. Clayton 7th in scoring and assists. Janai Broome going to win SEC Player of the Year, but Sears first team All SEC again.
Absolutely. Well, he's had another outstanding year. But the Wooden Award is going to be either Cooper Flagg of Duke or Janai Broome of Auburn.
Well, Clayton way off, tried to bank that in and missed everything. Hit the board and landed on the other side of the rim. Sears pulls it out. Nelson thought about it, hesitates, now drives, attacks, good feed underneath, and the basket by Amore.
Grant Nelson can knock down a 3, but that's not the lead story with him. You cannot close out to him off balance or he's going to drive it.
Shot clock at 8. Good defense in the half court by Alabama. Richard stripped, got it back with 2, and it's going to be a shot clock violation. Much tougher possession for Alabama on that side of the court.
On every dribble handoff action, Alabama's done a great job of blowing those up. They stay between the cutter and the ball, and it's left the passer with nowhere to go. And you don't see many shot clock violations when Florida and Alabama get together. That was excellent defense on the part of the Tide.
7th turnover forced by Alabama's defense. Nearing 2 minutes to go here in the opening half. A 1-point game, Florida in front. The floater in the paint off target from Youngblood. And 1 and done for Alabama. Chinyalu with the rebound.
A man-sized rebound with 2 hands.
Florida can clinch the 2 seed in the SEC tournament with a win. 3 ball. Way off the mark from Clayton. Clayton 0 for 3 from behind the arc so far. Florida 2 of 12 as a team from three-point range. Holloway making the defense work. The three not there, though.
Florida's done a pretty darn good job on the defensive glass, but another knockaway.
Bad turnovers in transition by Florida. Pull up three. Sears hits. Alabama by 2 with 90 seconds left in the half, and a timeout by Florida. Career 20-point games. That's the most among active players, and well on his way to number 68 in his final game here at Coleman Coliseum. Started his career at Ohio, was there for a couple years, but he grew up in Alabama, returned here the last 3 seasons to play for the Tide. 2-time All-SEC, second-team All-America a year ago.
The second most famous person from Muscle Shoals, Alabama, behind Reese Davis.
Richards three, short. Alabama ball. Sears ahead to Youngblood. Euro step and the floater. Great footwork in the paint.
An outstanding three-point shooter, Chris Youngblood, but he's got a lot of game beyond that.
9 straight Alabama points, tied by 4. Excellent drive by Clayton. The finish outstanding, and that ends the run.
And drew contact without a whistle.
Clayton with 10 points. Sears has the hot hand. Missed the three. Tracking down the loose ball. Elijah Martin back on the floor. He'll take the three and drill it. Swishing that one home to give Florida a 1-point lead.
That long rebound heading out toward the Florida basket really started the break. But Jaron Stevenson just gave a little bit too much room to Elijah Martin.
Alabama holding for the final shot of the half. 41-40 Florida. Sears against Elijah Martin with 7 seconds to go. Sears using the ball screen. Driving. Sears puts it up. Missed it off the glass. And Richard did not get it off in time. And the first half comes to an end. Florida is perfect. 20-0 this season when leading at halftime. Here's Molly.
Coach, it's been a game of runs so far on the glass, but he really wants them to do a little bit better offensively. He said those turnovers are unacceptable, pointed to 8 turnovers in the first half. He said in transition they were just lazy turnovers. He wants them to be more aggressive. He said we need to get some better looks offensively, and to win this game, we're going to have to hit some threes. Guys.
Second time these two teams, Molly, have met as top 10 teams. The other 23 years ago. Both teams at 12-4 in league play, tied for second. Auburn has already clinched the number 1 seed. Looked like a foul on the shot by Nelson. Instead, Martin with the slam in transition. He ended the half with a 3, and now a vicious slam to start the second half.
Well, Grant Nelson did get fouled, but Elijah Martin took advantage of it. And he has brought a degree of toughness to this team that you really can't quantify. He has been excellent.
Youngblood gets it to roll home off the glass.
Just used that right hand, never brought his left hand to it just to get it off the glass quicker to keep it from being blocked.
Meanwhile, Florida 14-5 now, fast break points over Alabama. Gators are the number 3 fast break team in the country. Alabama's 28th. Condon underneath, got bumped. Condon throws it into the backcourt. And so a turnover by the Gators. That is their 9th.
On this last possession, Grant Nelson goes up. There's no question that's a foul. How that wasn't called is baffling, but Elijah Martin with a big-time punch on the other end, and he looked like a running back going through a linebacker, just discarding the defender and then flushing that in.
So his 5 points have come on his last 2 possessions with the ball. Florida by 1. Philon, a little quiet in the first half, drives and gets that one to fall off glass. Philon puts it in for his 3rd basket.
He had to use that left arm to go right into the chest of Elijah Martin to drive him back.
Clayton for 3 off the dribble. Now Clayton, you mentioned, did not hit a 3 in the first half, connects here.
Well, Alabama's playing off Ruben Chinyelu, and he did a great job of screening to open that up. if you're not going to be up to touch to the level of the screen, Cliff Amori right in the middle of the lane, because Chinyelu is not a threat to shoot it out there. But he just picks off Philon. That opens it up for the easy step-in shot.
Meanwhile, Conlon with his second block. He also has 5 rebounds and 12 points for Florida, back in the starting lineup after coming off the bench the last couple of games. He was hurt against Mississippi State a handful of games ago. Philon spot up 3 is good.
Just an excellent find by Mark Sears. Philon relocates, but Sears got a piece of the paint after he came off that handoff action.
Philon's first 3-point attempt of the game. Alabama back up 1, our 10th lead change. A runner almost banked in. Offensive rebound and a foul called on Amori that will send Chinyelu to the line. First on Alabama in the half.
Another offensive rebound for Florida. But watch Sears when he takes this handoff, gets downhill. Chinyelu's got to pick him up. He's got a man rolling to the basket and finds the shake action coming up from the corner. LeBaron Philon had his feet set when the ball arrived. That's excellent offense run by Alabama on out of bounds underneath.
Chinyelu, 60% free throw shooter. This off the back iron.
Well, guys, you mentioned Philon's play lately. When asked about his elevated play the last 4 games, Mark Sears pointed to Philon as the reason why he's been playing so well. He said, it all changed for me when he came into the starting 5. Adding another dynamic ball handler who can break down a defense makes the game so much easier for me. I tell him to go out, be aggressive. I feed off of that, and that's what he's doing for this team early in the second half, guys.
Well, Molly, Nate Oates was telling us yesterday that Philon is playing so much harder. That's been a real difference. He leads this team in steals, but he's also talking about his leadership and what he brings to the culture. And Nate Oates said, I would hire LeBaron Philon as an assistant. Maybe not right now. I don't think he should do it right now. He's too good of a player.
Sherrell with the basket gives Alabama a 2-point lead. The 3 way off from Clayton. Sears looking to run, but Florida gets 4 guys back defensively. Sears on the baseline, can't connect, batted out by Nelson, and there's Philon.
You can't grab it, tip it out so a teammate can get it.
Philon lob, and Nelson met at the rim again, but that time didn't go up in the shot. He just came down with the ball and then scores to make it a 4-point game.
Boy, really smart to bring that down.
Condon, bad pass. Martin somehow ends up with a basketball. Richard with a pull-up, no. Right to Sears.
Well, that was a big-time fake by Will Richard in the corner.
The crowd wanted Nelson to take the 3. Instead, he drives and spins, got Condon off his feet, and fouled. And so Condon commits a second foul. First on Florida in the half. Free throws coming for Grant Nelson.
Grant Nelson taking this lob. Condon right there again, but this time he brings it down. And then he's able to go back up to get the easy bucket. Smart play by Grant Nelson. Got the contact, but the fact that he didn't try to complete the play up top was what made it for him.
Jay, you've seen both of these teams a number of times in person this year. We touched on the fact that both still in contention for a 1 seed, regardless of the seed. Can both teams win a national title, in your opinion?
Yes, both teams are capable. I think, Dave, there are about 8 teams, I think, that can win a championship. There are a number of others that can reach a Final Four, but that's a different deal. Somebody can fall down in your bracket, in your region. You can reach San Antonio, but once you're there, winning a championship is a heck of a lot different than reaching a Final Four.
1 out of 2, and Alabama has its largest lead of the game. Florida's largest lead was 7, and that was when it was 15-8. 4 minutes gone by, second half. Nobody picked up Martin. Florida was way off. Condon, another offensive rebound for Florida. Clayton pays it off with a 3. So again, the offensive rebounds lead to buckets for the Gators.
It is remarkable how often an offensive rebound leads to a quality 3.
Makes it a 2-point game. Philon in the paint, in and out, rebounded by Hauk. Richard, Condon got position underneath, and good defense by Nelson.
A ton of contact as you're trying to go up.
Sears splits the double, and the corner 3 not there. Racing down court is Richard. Great look ahead. Richard with the slam. 5 quick Florida points to tie it up.
Such an alert pass from Walter Clayton Jr.
Sherrill nails a three.
This is looking like the Sherrill that had his best game against Georgia. Had 12 points, 7 rebounds in that one. He is showing he can pick and pop. He can knock the three down and stretch a defense out.
He's got 10 points, 4 of 4, 2 of 2 from 3. Unable to answer was Clayton. Loose ball. How great hustle. Martin's going to get a good look, but he can't hit it. Condon threw it off the Sears out of bounds. It's going to be Florida ball when we come back.
Boy, Florida right now out hustling Alabama for the ball. And after this miss,
they gave that game away, and Sears promised that they will close out games with a greater sense of urgency and attention to detail from now on, saying if we do that, we're dangerous. And tonight, an opportunity to prove that they can close out tight games, guys.
They got a 3-point lead right now, though Florida's 3 out of the timeout with Houck drilling it, ties it up at 55. Alabama's lost 4 times in conference play, 3 of the last 5, including that heartbreaker against Tennessee over the weekend. Florida's 4 losses all came in conference play. They've won 7 of 8, though the lone loss during that stretch was at Georgia last week. Georgia might be in the tournament right now with the way it's played. Sears gets a deflection. Loose ball. And Richard comes away with it, gets the stuff. The Gators retake the lead.
Well, Alabama's been right there to make some plays, but Florida has been just quicker to the ball when it's been loose. If it's been longer, it's been loose. Florida's gotten it.
Holloway with a tough pass. Sherrill banged up. Actually, Florida Gator, it's Martin down. He got hurt in the first half.
But he and Sherrill bumped heads. Just one of these unintentional ones.
Martin going to go back to the Florida locker room. Second time that he's had to be taken back to get looked at here. 2-point lead for Florida.
Well, you take a shot to the head, both for Sherrill and Martin. It's just smart for the teams to go back and take a look at the concussion chance. You don't want to take any chances with that.
Yep. So Aberdeen on the floor. And Logton checking in as well. Shot clock's at 10. Clayton, great job putting on the brakes, missed the shot, and a foul called on the contact between Stevenson and Aberdeen. 3rd on Stevenson, and the 2nd team foul on Alabama.
And another loose ball that Hanlockton was able to keep alive, and Florida keeps possession. Just these little things of being just a bit quicker to these rebounds and loose balls that Florida's winning.
Clayton up to 16 points now, matching Sears, who has not scored in the second half. Through 6.5 minutes, Clayton weaving through traffic, and what a move, counted and a foul. That was gorgeous by Walter Clayton, again putting on the brakes, changing direction without the dribble then to score and won.
They ran a little flex action, but Walter Clayton Jr. cut it short and came around. He was just snaking the ball through the lane. But to your point, this is just fantastic footwork to get Cliff Amore to fly on by and then step through for an easy bucket. That's just big time by Walter Clayton Jr.
Amore commits the foul, his second, and Clayton now with 19. It's an 8-0 Florida run. 5-point Gators lead on the road.
Yet another defender on Mark Sears. Denzel Aberdeen, who's an outstanding defender.
Sears leaning in, and Aberdeen fouls him, his second on Florida in the half. Sears to the line, where in the first half he was 5 for 5. Saturday, the final day of the SEC men's basketball regular season. Everybody's playing. We got 5 of those games on the SEC network and the ESPN app. Big games involving bubble teams like Oklahoma and Texas meeting in the finale at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. SEC could get 12, maybe 13 in the big dance.
That's an absolute possibility. Both would be records. But the next time these SEC teams are going to play a non-quad 1 game will be in the NCAA tournament. Isn't that remarkable?
And you got Oklahoma 4-12 in conference play, yet a bubble team and could beat a lot of teams that are 12-4 in their league.
No question.
Lob pass, Hauck under the basket, made the catch, pulls it back out with Florida up 4. Clayton driving, goes to the right hand, missed the layup though, and Sears out of there with it.
Took some contact.
Sears blows by Hauck. Great recovery though by Hauck. They're going to count it though and say goaltending. May have hit the backboard first.
Well, even if it didn't, they call that every time because they can take a look at it. So anything close, the officials are going to call because they can look at it on the next dead ball. But that's a clean block.
Agreed.
So they're going to wipe that basket off. I hate that rule. It's not the official's fault, but that's just a dumb rule.
Right, because if it's a no call, you can't go use replay to...
Right, and then you wind up taking points off the board for no reason.
Out driving, banks it in. Florida back up 4, 7.5 gone by.
Thomas Hauck is such a good player. Their best per minute offensive rebounder. He can switch on defense. He can drive it, and a good shooter.
Came off the bench today with Condon back in the starting lineup. Diabate trying to create some room deep in the paint, and a foul called on Hauck. That's his second, third on Florida.
Hauck, just a sophomore from Pennsylvania. But a lot of times when he goes with that right-hand drive, if he doesn't have an angle, he'll spin back. But that time he had an angle, just went right into the shot blocker and got it to go.
And Diabate will be at the line, has not scored in this game. Just 1 rebound. He's got 2 double-doubles in his last 4 games. He had 2 all year prior to this stretch. Substitutions for both teams. Holloway will go to the bench as Youngblood checks in. Klobuchar on the floor for Florida. And he'll replace Clayton. Let's see how the Gators do without Clayton for a stretch.
Both these teams have really good depth. They can run good players at you for 40 minutes plus.
Diabate missed the second one. Gators ball up 3. Aberdeen running the point with Clayton on the bench. Ravon Klobuchar got caught in the air. Tough pass. Shot clock at 8. Reaching in. Try to strip it away from Hauck. And they do. Diabate got the deflection. Sears out of there with it. Sears pulls up for 3. Can't connect. Ball batted around. Sears tried to save it on the baseline but stepped out. It was kept alive by Youngblood, but it'll be Florida ball when we come back, and the Gators leading by 3 with 11:36 to play. Nice scoring game, one of the best wins of the year for the Tigers, who are ranked #1 in the country. Lost last night. Would presume that Duke would then jump to #1 next week if Duke wins. But Auburn lost the game earlier this year and stayed #1. Aberdeen with a lob, and great finish by Condon as he got undercut by Nelson as the ball arrived, and it's a 7-point lead. Florida matching its largest of the day.
As soon as Condon makes that handoff, he just gets right to the rim. And you can throw it up to him. He's big, he's strong, and he's very, very skilled.
Well, guys, one thing to keep an eye out for, Aiden Sherrill was back in Alabama's locker room being evaluated for a face injury. I'm told he will return, and Nate Oates trying to incite passion in his team in that timeout, saying you have less than 12 minutes to turn your energy around. We've got to stop, get stops after stops. You're not giving them enough resistance right now. All the little things matter down the stretch. And remember, Mark Sears told us the little things lost them that game against Tennessee, and they're emphasizing that now in this game.
Yeah, blew a 4-point lead in the final 30 seconds. You mentioned that Sherrill's back on the bench. Don't see Elijah Martin yet on the bench for Florida. He went back to the locker room after that collision. I'll check that. He is back on the bench, we're being told. Now Sears gets a clear path to the basket, and Sears with the field goal.
And Florida with terrific denial defense, but once Sears got the ball, had a wide open lane to the bucket.
Nearing the midway point of the second half, 5-point Florida lead. Almost traveling was Richard. Got it down low. Condon goes to the left hand. Got it back after he missed badly the first time and sticks it home.
It was so difficult for Cliff Amore to be able to block out Alex Condon. He missed that so badly. He had the easy lane to go get it.
+7 offensive rebounds for Florida. Line drive 3, not there for Nelson. And it's a one and done for the Crimson Tide.
Another outstanding block out by Ruben Chinyelu. So many quality big guys that Florida can bring into the game.
You saw Martin at the scorer's table. He'll come back in, but the guy that replaced him, Denzel Aberdeen, a big factor, hits a 3 to give the Gators their largest lead.
LeBaron Philon went underneath that screen. That opened it up for Aberdeen, and he had a couple of big games when Elijah Martin was out. Had 2 20-point games in a row.
Klobuchar commits the foul, his second, 15 foul in Florida.
Well, we wondered what Florida would do with Walter Clayton out of the game, but Denzel Aberdeen, LeBaron Philon guarding him, and when Chinyelu comes to set this screen, he tries to go under to meet him on the other side, but Aberdeen just stops and pops and knocks down the 3. There haven't been many open threes, but you go under and you're giving one away.
Alabama has answered every time Florida's gone on a run. Gators have made 5 of their last 6. Sears fumbled it away in midair, tried to gather and score in one motion and couldn't. And Martin puts it on the deck, goes baseline. It's cut off by Youngblood. From the foul line, Chinyelu trying to track down his own miss, commits a foul, and that's team foul number 6 and the first on Chinyelu.
When Mark Sears has been able to get to the rim, he's having to finish oversized. And Condon has great size. I mean, he's 6'11", and Ruben Chinyelu 6'10". It's not that they're big-time shot blockers, but they are shot challengers.
And Sears just 1 for 6 this half. Final home game. Senior night here in Tuscaloosa. Sears, 2-time All-SEC. Lets it fly. Can't get the 3. Offensive rebound and a foul called. Free throws for Diabate. Team foul number 7. Alabama's going to shoot free throws the final 8:47 of this game.
Florida trying to force Mark Sears toward his right hand. He just took it. You're going to send me right, I'll go right. And he's not going to miss many of those from the three-point line when he's able to step into that kind of 3.
Second foul on Chinyelu. Diabate, 1 of 2 at the line. Alabama now 3 for 7 at the line this half. Auburn has already clinched the 1 seed. Florida can grab the 2 seed with a win. Alabama needs to win and get some help to end up getting that 2 spot. But really, it's all about being in the top 4 and getting the double bye and not having to play until Friday at the SEC tournament next week. Both free throws off target. Loose ball, and out of there with it is Clayton.
Another loose ball that Florida comes up with.
Oh, what a pass by Clayton to a soaring Condon for the slam in transition.
Florida has been magnificent in transition. They are dominating in fast break points.
The lead is 12, the largest of the night. 7 straight and plus 14 fast break points. Sears with the basket inside.
You don't have the numbers. We don't have the numbers on how many loose balls Florida has picked up. But they have dominated in that category.
Condon's 3 too strong. Alabama ball. Diabate gets downhill, missed the layup. And 1 and done again for Alabama with Chinyelu getting the defensive rebound.
Alabama's had some shots at the rim. They just have to complete these plays.
Clayton, another lob and another one-handed jam for Condon. Boy, Alex Condon having a tremendous game. And remember how good he was in the win at Auburn. He's been even better tonight.
Florida team, Dave, has depth. They've got size, outstanding guards, and they have been dominant in the open floor. 18-4 in favor of Florida in fast break points in this game.
They really have everything. Got a deep team as well. Battle tested. They've had some big wins on the road this year and trying to get another one. Up 12. Nelson spinning and scoring. Gets it back to a 10-point game. At some point, can Alabama make some threes, though? Just 5 for 18 on the night.
Well, that's half their average output in a game.
Condon got position deep. Looked like he traveled, may have released the ball prior to picking up that pivot foot. Aberdeen through the lane, in and out. And a much-needed defensive rebound by Diabate. What a wild shot by Youngblood. Wouldn't fall. The tip won't go either. Another chance. Bodies hit the floor. And this is going to go to Florida on the possession arrow.
But it looked like Jaron Stevenson got pulled down.
So 75-65. Remember, they took a basket away from Alabama. To 65, but it's not for a lack of effort here of late.
It shows you, gives you an idea how physical this game is. Jaron Stevenson comes down with that rebound, gets fouled by Alex Condon, doesn't get called. But really, the loose ball situation has been a big factor in this game. Florida is leading 17-7 in second chance points off 13 offensive rebounds. That's been a huge part of this game, but they also have an 18-4 advantage in fast break points, and there's only been 6 Alabama turnovers. Some of these have come off rebounds. Good pass inside.
Extra pass. Condon. Another pass down low. Shot clock at 3. Condon inside, and a foul with 1.8 on the shot clock. Back to, again, the story of the game. Florida dominating on the offensive glass as we check in with Molly.
Yeah, guys, this Florida team is oozing with confidence right now. Players were talking excitedly, pumping each other up in the timeout. Walter Clayton Jr. was even drawing up plays for his teammates. And Todd Golden emphasizing their dominance in the fast break, but reminding them it all starts with those rebounds. He said, keep rebounding, and we keep dominating this game.
Well, they are for sure. You just saw 2 offensive rebounds on that possession alone as Condon puts the lead back at 11. And total rebounds plus 15. And Alabama, not only #1 scoring team in the country, #1 rebounding team. But not tonight.
Well, Florida, Dave, has everything. I mean, they've got 4 outstanding, well, really 5 with Clapton, outstanding guards. And their rotation of big guys just keeps pressure on you and pressure on the backboards all game long. And after a while, that's going to wear you down.
Sears hesitates, drives, Euro step, floater, no good. And one and done again for Alabama. Florida's possession up 12, 6-minute mark. Clayton gets to the rim and scores. Can the Gators pull away? Their lead is 14, the largest of the night.
Clayton's just got an extra gear.
21 points for Clayton. Trying to get his 7th game of 25 or more. Big hit by Philon. A much-needed 3 for Alabama.
And a nice find by Grant Nelson. For the most part, Florida's done a really good job of keeping Alabama off the 3-point line and forcing them into tough 2s, which have been difficult to complete.
Martin can't answer. Another offensive rebound, and Condon will go back to the line. Took a shot to the head.
Well, LeBaron Philon had to switch off onto Alex Condon, and that's a mismatch when the shot goes up. And then Walter Clayton Jr., just a terrific little crossover hesitation move to get all the way to the rim. And then Nelson, terrific find to LeBaron Philon, cross court. One of the very few open 3s Alabama's been able to generate off their half-court offense. But for the most part, Florida's game plan was to turn Alabama into a half-court team, keep them out of transition. And Florida's been quite successful in that game plan.
Meanwhile, Florida's been able to get up and down, and Condon, the beneficiary in a lot of possessions. Plus 16 fast break points as a team. And Condon now ties a career high with his 23rd point. He is 5 of 6 at the line. He also has 9 rebounds and a couple of blocks. Sophomore from Australia that was injured a few games back against Mississippi State. Alabama's had a couple of key injuries. Latrell Wrightsell tore his Achilles early in the year. Darion Reed still out with a hamstring injury. They're not sure they're going to get him back. Outstanding freshman. Condon missed the second. Got his own miss. Clayton 4-3. Well, that would have been huge had that gone down. Would have been a 4-point possession.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that drives Nate Oates nuts, is giving up a An offensive rebound off a missed free throw.
Omori with the basket and a foul. That alley-oop pass a little errant, but somehow it went down. Had a chance at a three-point play.
And this is the kind of play that Alabama needed. Just a screen and roll. Hand locked in, tried to help on the drive, just stayed a little bit too long. And Alex Condon didn't step in as the low man to try to stop and tag that roll.
8th team foul. Omori at the line trying to complete the three-point play. Alabama has already missed 5 free throws this half, but that one is good. And now the crowd rises with 5 minutes to go in a 9-point game. Clayton turns the corner. Another tremendous lob to Condon for the slam.
Just a little simple stagger to get Walter Clayton Jr. the ball, and they ran him off the three-point line, but that meant he could get downhill and get to the paint. And when you help on it, he just lobs it up.
There are a lot of NBA scouts in attendance. Walter Clayton's making some money tonight as a scorer and the distributor. Nice move by Philon in the lane, giving the teardrop.
What Alabama really needs right now are consecutive stops. There is still plenty of time left in this game.
Got to do a better job on the defensive glass.
Boy, Florida's really doing a good job of moving the ball, getting from side to side.
Clayton again with a kick out. Houck for 3. And the lead is back to 12.
Boy, how do you deal with that when your big guys are knocking down threes? Houck knocks one down. Condon's made a couple.
The offensive execution, the fluidity of Florida's offense in the half court been beautiful to watch here in the second half. Condon called for the foul. That's going to result in a 1-and-1 for Grant Nelson when we come back. But Florida's offense sensational, Jay, here in the second half.
Ball movement.
In all your years, whether as a player, coach, or covering college basketball?
Top to bottom, the SEC is and relative to the field, is the best league there's ever been in college basketball. Now, that doesn't mean that a top team from another league isn't going to win the championship this year. It doesn't mean Houston isn't going to win it or Duke isn't going to win it. That's not what I'm saying. But just an incredible league top to bottom.
And that's a big offensive rebound, something that had been lacking for Alabama after the missed free throw by Nelson, and Sears pays it off in his final home game on senior night with a 3. But how about Elijah Martin getting to the cup again with a vicious jam?
That was a set play after the 3 by Mark Sears. What an answer to get that back door on the open side.
In and out. Philon almost had it go down. Would have been back-to-back threes for Alabama.
Philon's had a good game. He's got 16 points and 4 assists in this one.
Sears leading the way with 24. Clayton has 21. Condon 25 for Florida. Houck gets a good look. Front rim, no. And they're going to call Condon for the foul. That'll be the 10th team foul. 2 free throws on the other end. But Alabama's 4 of 10 at the line here in the second half. That is the 4th foul on Condon. Let's see if Todd Golden keeps him on the floor.
Yeah, I think you take the risk now and keep him out there. But free throws were a little bit of an issue for Alabama at Tennessee. But right now, the clock is favoring Florida with this 11-point lead.
Omori, 66% free throw shooter, makes the first one. Alabama trying to stay within striking distance, get it back to single figures with the clock stopped. Diabate checking back in. We're told Aiden Sherrill will not return for Alabama after that collision with Elijah Martin. Martin has been back for about the last 3 or 4 minutes of game action.
And that's a tough loss for Alabama. With Aiden Sherrill, he had 10 points. He was 4 of 4 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3, having one of his best games.
Omori makes them both. 9-point game again.
Right now,
only get a stop.
Well, right now, Florida can spread the floor. Having both Houck and Condon out on the floor, both excellent passers, and both can knock down a 3.
2.5 to play. Clayton waiting for the screen, goes away from it. Kicks it back out. The shot clock at 7. Here's Richard. Richard double, fight through it. Richard with 2, 3 on the way, short, Rebound Sears looking to run. Alabama trying to get a fast break opportunity and a foul. Richard reaching in, hacking Amori, who just made 2 free throws the last time down.
Impressive by Alabama. Once they secured that loose ball, really rushing it up the floor. That put a ton of pressure on Florida's transition defense. Sears secures that rebound and just sprints it up the floor, and a great job to run the floor by Cliff Amori.
Made his last 3 at the line. It's an 8-point game with 2:12 to go. And Florida's been over the foul limit since about the 7-minute mark, and now in the double bonus for the last couple of fouls. Oh, Amori knocks down 4 straight. First time Alabama's been this close since about the 9-minute mark. Two minutes to go. Gators lead down to 7. Clayton can't get free. Diabate shadowing him off the ball. Shot clock at 10. Martin trying to drive on Sears. Oh, a foul called on Sears for reaching in. They did have a foul to give. It's Sears' first personal. It's going to be a side out with the shot clock going to 20. They've been letting that go a lot tonight, but they call it there. The shot clock was down to about 8. But a reset to 20 after the defensive foul. Now it's at 10. Clayton looking to drive.
At the switch.
Bounce inside. Condon triple team. Condon puts it up. No. Houck had it. Lost it out of bounds. Alabama ball.
Walter Clayton Jr. drove the switch. Referee's going to take a look at whether they had the call.
But we have games to play, important games, going to make that game even better, these next 2. So we're focused on that. I'm focused on that and ready to do even better things.
Huge game against the Rebels tonight. You want to make the shot again from here?
Just wait for the game.
Wait for the game. We'll wait.
That's coming up next. Got a foul on Florida on the pass, but it's going to be free throws here. Let's see if it's Sears or Philon that will shoot.
It's Sears.
And he's an 85% free throw shooter. 6 of 7 tonight. So the ruling on the floor of being out of bounds off Florida stood, and now a chance to make it a 5-point game with the clock stopped at 1:25.
And still plenty of time for Alabama to make a run at Florida. The key is, can they get stops?
5 straight makes at the line for Alabama. They were 4 of 10 this half at the line at one point. It's interesting, too, last couple possessions, they've called fouls on the perimeter. And they were letting some of that go earlier in the game. It's a 5-point game, and now Alabama going to put on the full-court press. Clayton can run and gets it in quickly to Condon, and Condon is fouled. It'll be a 1-and-1. That's the 17th foul on Alabama.
Condon, a 62% free throw shooter, but has an excellent shooting touch. And now it's about, if there's a miss, can you get a free throw block out and secure the ball? Remember last time Condon missed a free throw, he wound up getting the rebound off the missed free throw as the shooter.
Do you think that that was the plan there, to foul Condon that quickly?
I can't imagine it was.
Didn't look like that initially. Still plenty of time, no reason to do it there on that inbound pass. 3rd foul on Philon, 17 foul. And Condon calmly hits the front end. He's got 26 points, 6 of 8 at the line. New career high in points. Been playing with 4 fouls for about the last minute.
He's been spectacular in this game, in every facet on both ends of the floor.
Gets the bounce on the second one. Substitution. Chinyelu will check in for Condon.
Just a defense-offense substitution. They don't want Condon picking up a foul.
Alabama ball down 7. Philon using the screen. Sears, straight on look. Can't bury it. Houck got the rebound and fouled. Team foul number 8, so a 1-and-1 for Houck, and an 82% free throw shooter.
Florida's grabbed so many big-time rebounds in this game. Both Chinyelu and Hauk right there going after the ball with both hands with inside position. These are man-sized rebounds in traffic. And look how he protected it. But just the fact that both Chinyelu and Hauk are going after that with two hands to secure the ball.
4 fouls on Nelson, 1 and 1 for Hauk.
And Hauk is a good free throw shooter.
What does this mean for Florida if they can beat a top 10 team on the road for the second time this season? It would be the first time the Gators have ever done that in program history.
Well, this is a tough team. They've got 2 wins over #1 teams, and in this league to get road wins of this quality, it says a lot about the athletic character of the Florida Gators. This is a big-time team that can win a national championship.
Certainly would help their cause trying to get a #1 seed to the NCAA tournament with an
Atlantic. And he's brought a toughness and competitiveness to this core of guards that has just raised the temperature to a championship level.
Their last Elite Eight was 2017. Last Final Four was 2014. Of course, won the national championships under Billy Donovan 2006, 2007. 1 minute to go. Got to have it possession here for Mark Sears in Alabama. Sears trying to lob it up, and he did to Amori, who slams it down.
How did he see Cliff Amori through those trees?
Call a foul on Sears, who was not trying to foul Clayton. It didn't appear in the backcourt. Going to be another 1 and 1. That's team foul number 9.
Got the switch, went behind his back, and then had 2 defenders on him. But the fact that he had 2, he probably figured I can just throw it up top. And Cliff Amori was right there to throw that down. What a beautiful play.
Clayton, 87% free throw shooter on the year. 3 of 3 tonight. But he misses the front end of the 1 and 1. But
Florida gets it. Another loose ball.
And a foul called on Alabama on Youngblood. And that's a killer right there to give up the offensive rebound on the missed free throw.
Yeah, deflating play. And just too many of those. Just the loose ball battle Florida has won. You know, Youngblood just didn't get contact on Elijah Martin, gets beat to the ball, and winds up having to foul him.
That was the 10th team foul, so it's 2 free throws. Martin misses the first. Still have 53 seconds left, but if this holds and Alabama were to fall for the 4th time in the last 6 games, does this tell us something about the warts of the Crimson Tide, what we've seen recently from this team?
Well, last year, Alabama took a couple punches from Florida, one of them in the Southeastern Conference tournament. They lost their last home game here. They wound up losing their first game in the SEC tournament, and then they went to the Final Four. I mean, I think for a lot of these teams, they're going to feel better when they get out of SEC play and play somebody else.
Philon with a big 3-pointer. So it's a 5-point game. Still plenty of time. 40.6 seconds left. Each team with a pair of timeouts as Alabama. Best one. It didn't maybe seem at the time, but now the Oregon win.
Yeah, really, Oregon and North Carolina were their 2 best non-conference wins.
They can run the baseline. They get it into Hauk. Gives it up to Clayton. Don't want to foul him. Will Richards, an 80% free throw shooter. Got to foul somebody, though. And they foul Martin. And of the 5, either he or Condon would be the one you'd want to foul. Martin, 73%. He just missed one a moment ago as well. Those were his first attempts. The last possession of the game.
Give credit to Thomas Hauk for making himself available to get that inbound pass. He got rid of it right away to Walter Clayton, and then when he caught it in the half court, gets rid of it right away just to get some extra time running off the clock. Those may seem like small things, but those are winning plays by Thomas Hauk.
Martin with the first free throw. Gators have 1 timeout left, 2 remaining for Alabama. Possession arrow favors Alabama if we have a held ball. For a while, it looked like this game might end up in the 60s or 70s. Alabama averages 90 points per game, and they're closing in on that, but giving up 94 as the second one rattles home for Martin.
When Auburn won here at Coleman Coliseum against Alabama in that 1-versus-2 game, when he was interviewed after the game, the first thing he said was, "We did a great defensive job to hold Alabama to 85 points."
And Florida's defense has been very good in this game. They got to go quickly. Wide open three is good for Stevenson. Another timeout by Alabama. Not done yet. 4-point game, 20.5 seconds left.
The one thing you don't want to do in that situation.
Back is 2, Clayton. So they got 4 defenders on the 2 guys in the backcourt, and then one-on-one matchups now at midcourt as that other defender who is in the backcourt heads to guard Condon. Florida's got a timeout. Clayton, as Houck gets free down court and then is grabbed by Stevenson. He got away from Stevenson, did the opposite of what he did the last time.
This last time, Condon was the one that came to the ball. That was set up by Todd Golden. Houck made a move toward the ball and then went the other way. And just really smart execution by Florida.
2 free throws. Both teams in the double bonus. And Houck gets the first one to go. Florida 17 of 24 at the line here tonight. 5-point lead.
See 2 big guys. Condon comes up, and then Walter Clayton Jr. with no pressure on him, able to just throw long after the little step and go by Thomas Houck.
Houck gets both. Alabama has a timeout left, won't use it. Will bring in Holloway. And Holloway just 3 points. He's one of the top bench players in the conference.
Right now it's no fouls, no threes.
Sears will take it to the basket. Florida will give him that. So 4-point game again. 13.2 seconds left. They'll save the timeout. Inbound to Aberdeen, who's a 70% free throw shooter. Sears commits the foul. Aberdeen with 12.4 will go to the line for a pair of free throws. Aberdeen's first attempts at the line tonight.
What a valuable player Denzel Aberdeen is for this Florida team. An outstanding defender, and when he's called upon to score, he can do it. And with Elijah Martin out, he had 20 points against Mississippi State, put up 22 on South Carolina, and he was 8 of 15 from 3 in those 2 games.
Got the bounce on the first foul shot. Made the second one as well. Florida making its free throws in crunch time. 6-point game. Got to hoist a 3 quickly. Instead, Sears drives. Surprised that Florida even challenged that. Layup is good. They got to foul quickly. 3.4 left. 4-point game.
Yeah, just not enough time. But give Alabama credit. They hung in there to make this a close game at the end. But just too many offensive rebounds, too many loose balls that were given up to this Florida team. And you know, we've talked about it throughout the course of this 40 minutes. Florida is legit. So is Alabama. I think the best thing all these SEC teams can do is go into the NCAA tournament with fresh legs and a fresh mind, because they're going to get some new meat. They don't have to see this caliber team game after game until they get to the second weekend of the NCAA tournament.
Stevenson fouled out. Sears 30 points in his final home game. Second free throw good to make it a 5-point game.
Boy, Sears has been on a heater. Last 5 games, he's over 28 a game.
And a timeout called by Nate Oates. 1.7 seconds left. Would you like to see them eventually change the rule where when you have time to?
And we have to change the replay rule. Make it like the NBA. Give each team one challenge. If they get their first one right, they keep it for one more, and then that's it. Because the referees, and it's not their fault, it's the rule. They spend more time watching TV than they do officiating the game.
Sears missed the 3. His final shot of his final game here at Coleman Coliseum ends in defeat. A huge win for Florida. First time in program history, 2 top 10 road